gleam, gleam, gleam. My grandmother gets a gleam in her eyes when she sees the twins. Persist, persist, persist. Lloyd persisted in exaggerating everything he said. Identify, identify, identify. Numerous witnesses identified the butcher as the thief. Famine, famine, famine. Famine in Africa caused the death of 1/10 of the population. Vessel, vessel, vessel. The doctor said a vessel in the right lung had burst. Hazy, hazy, hazy. The vicinity of London is known to be hazy. Thrust, thrust, thrust. He had adequate strength to thrust himself through the locked door. Duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Elliot tried to deceive Mrs. Held by making a duplicate of my paper. Rival, rival, rival. Sideman and Son decided to migrate to an area where they would have fewer rivals. Unruly, unruly, unruly. His unruly actions were a menace to those who were trying to work. Opponent, opponent, opponent. He was a bitter opponent of costly urban reform. Vicious, vicious, vicious. Liza was unpopular because she was vicious to people she had just met. Underdog, underdog, underdog. I always feel sorry for the underdog in a street fight. Bewildered, bewildered, bewildered. Bewildered by the sudden hazy weather, he decided not to go to the beach. Whirl, whirl, whirl. The space vessel was whirling around before it landed on Earth. Violent, violent, violent. Vernon had a tendency to be violent when someone angered him. Brawl, brawl, brawl. Larry dreaded a brawl with his father over finding a job. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Dozens of employees quit the job because the boss was brutal to them. Mature, mature, mature. I could tell that Mitch was mature from the way he persisted in his work. Alter, alter, alter. I altered my typical lunch and had a steak instead. Pursue, pursue, pursue. Ernie rode up the river, pursuing it to its source. Sacred, sacred, sacred. Her sacred metal had to be sold because the family was in urgent need of money. Revise, revise, revise. My family revised its weekend plans when the weather turned hazy. Unanimous, unanimous, unanimous. The Senate, by a unanimous vote, decided to decrease taxes. Casual, casual, casual. As the villain stole the money from the blind man, he walked away in a casual manner. Fortunate, fortunate, fortunate. Wesley was fortunate to have an adequate sum of money in the bank. Innovative, innovative, innovative. Everyone in our office praised the boss for his innovative suggestions. Pioneer, pioneer, pioneer. England was a pioneer in building large vessels for tourists. Expand, expand, expand. There are no plans to expand the local airport. Pledge, pledge, pledge. Before the grand jury, the sinister gangster pledged to tell the whole truth. penetrate, penetrate, penetrate. Although Kenny tried to pound the nail into the rock with a hammer, he couldn't penetrate the hard surface. Confident, confident, confident. Annette was confident she would do well as a nurse. Doubt, doubt, doubt. There seems no reason to doubt her story. Pierce, pierce, pierce. My sister is debating whether or not to get her ears pierced. Accurate, accurate, accurate. Emma's vision was so accurate that she didn't need glasses. Grateful, grateful, grateful. In his letter, Waldo told how grateful he was for the loan. Capacity, capacity, capacity. A sign in the elevator stated that its capacity was 1,100 pounds. Surpass, surpass, surpass. It is undeniable that a cold lemonade in July cannot be surpassed. Slender, slender, slender. Carlotta's slender figure made her look somewhat taller than she was. Vast, vast, vast. Daniel Boone explored vast areas that had never been settled. Microscope, microscope, microscope. The students used a microscope to see the miniature insect. Cautious, cautious, cautious. Be cautious when you choose your opponent. Appeal, appeal, appeal. I am appealing for donations on behalf of the famine victims. Keg, keg, keg. Get a keg of nails, the carpenter shouted at me. Wary, wary, wary. Marilyn's mother told her to be wary of strangers. Harsh, harsh, harsh. Hazel altered her tone of voice from a harsh one to a soft tone. Quantity, quantity, quantity. A large quantity of meat is always stored in our freezer. Wretched, wretched, wretched. You look wretched, what's wrong? Addict, addict, addict. Because he was a heroin addict, it was essential for Carlos to get the drug each day. Misfortune, misfortune, misfortune. Being bitten by the vicious dog was quite a misfortune for Tommy.